Hey, fifth graders, good to see you today. Today we are thinking about how we can visualize and model what it means to add decimals, okay? How can I use place value and properties to add and subtract decimals is the essential question of this chapter. So let's try modeling a few just to make sure our brains are really understanding what we are doing when we add in traditional ways, okay? So we're going to find 1.2 plus zero point 0.7 or 1 and 2 tenths plus 7 tenths, all right? And using models to find the sum. So the first thing we notice is that we have a whole number here, 1. So that means we're going to shade in an entire unit. This is one whole, right? If we shade in the whole thing, we have one whole. And in this same one, we also have 2 tenths, 1 tenth, 2 tenths, because if we counted each of these, there'd be 10 in this column, right? We could shade across horizontally as well. It doesn't matter which way you go. Okay, now I'm going to switch colors really quick here. All right, and it says here that we're adding 7 tenths, 1 tenth, 2 tenths, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, wow. I hadn't really ever thought about that perhaps. That when I add 2 tenths and 7 tenths, that's 9, and 10 is another whole. So we almost, if we were to round this, we almost have 2 wholes here, right? Okay, so what is it asking me here for? 2 tenths is equal to how many small squares? Well, 1 tenth is 10 small squares, so 2 tenths would be 20 small squares. Okay, and here it says model 7 tenths, which we did. How many ones are there? Meaning how many small squares, right? That would be 7 times 10. Oopsie. 70 small squares. And how many tenths are there? Well, a tenth is 10 small squares, and there's 7 of them because we have 7 tenths. So there are 7 tenths. Okay? All right. So now let's think about this. We have one whole, so 1 and 2 tenths plus 7 tenths is what, still just one whole. And how many tenths did we have? Well, 7 plus 2 is 9. 9 tenths. Okay? And now we can estimate if we averaged 1 and 2 tenths to 1 and 7 tenths to 1, we would have 2. Okay? And 1 and 9 tenths is congruent or about the same as 2 wholes. So I feel pretty good about that. All right, I kind of skipped around and didn't read the directions on that one, so maybe I'll try directions this time, just so it's less confusing for you. All right, so this time we're adding 1 and 8 hundredths plus 45 hundredths. All right? So to show 1 and 8 hundredths, first we need to shade one whole, right? One whole. Does it matter? Is this art class? Are we trying to show Miss Munyon how artistic we are right here? No, but it should be obvious to me that you colored the whole thing, okay? And then we have 8 tenths. We need to think carefully about that. Last time we were 8 hundredths. We were coloring tenths last time. That says hundredths, so we need to color 8 of them. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, and if you know 8 and 2 is 10, you could just grab all but 2 of them, color it like that. All right, and then on the next one, this is exciting. We have 4 whole tenths, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we have, I'm going to switch back to the same color actually. We have 5 hundredths. So I'm going to pick up where I left off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What are they asking us here? 8 hundredths is equal to 8 small squares. And then in the 45, I skipped ahead again. Let's see, it says shade 45 hundredths to the second grid using a different color. How many ones are there? 1. There's one whole, right? How many tenths? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tenths. And how many hundredths? 1, 2, 3. Okay? All right. So 1 and 8 hundredths plus 45 hundredths is how much in all? Well, it's one whole. And then we have 53 hundredths. 53 hundredths. So let's check our reasonableness. We could round easily 1 and 8 hundredths to 1, okay, and 45 hundredths to half, and 1 plus half is 1.5. Wow, not only is 1.5 congruent to 1.5, it's equal to 1.5. So that estimate turned out to be exact. That's always interesting when that happens. Explain how to use grid paper to model 2 tenths versus 2 hundredths. Describe any differences. Well, when it's the tenths, we are shading rows or columns. Shading rows equals tenths. And what about when we're shading hundredths? What are we shading then? Hundredths. Don't forget the TH. Shade individual squares. Right? All right. Okay. Oh, what is this? What decimal is modeled by a 10 by 10 grid with 82 squares shaded? 82 squares shaded. Well, if we just think about 82 as a whole number, this is tens, and this is ones here. But what about when we add the decimal? Then this here, oopsie, sorry about that. This becomes tenths. And this becomes hundredths, right? What decimal? Oh, I just showed it to you. 82, 88 tenths, and 2 hundredths. 82 hundredths. So almost the whole darn thing. Is there another page to this? Oh, that's it. Okay, go have fun. This looks like a fun lesson. Enjoy. Let me know if you have any questions. Feel free to work with a friend.